Michael,
Yes, Ray.
we all get a chance to deal with situations, so I have one for you. The baby's crying, the dog's barking, and the pot is boiling over. Which one do you deal with first? None of them, because the house is on fire.
Oh, God. Too soon. Too soon.
There are situations that everyone in your industry deals with.
Which one is that?
We know it's a high turnover industry. That seems to precipitate a lot of other potential troubles. It's a very negative industry. You don't hear when things are going right. You hear when people have a problem. One of the issues dealt with just recently with one of your customers was just a succession of system failures.
When I do my training classes, we often joke about you never get the phone call saying what a beautiful knot you tied on that bag last night and how it was tucked beautifully and the trash can was put back just eloquently.
It brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah, it never happens. When we all laugh, that's not the phone call we get. We get the calls at all different hours of the day, night, weekends, holidays.
But your customer dealt with a series of things that led to a loss.
Yeah, because it is a high turnover industry, and I always tell my clients that they need to overstaff their jobs. Oh, I can't afford it. You really can, because you have the budgeted hours. We ask our clients to figure out what is your daily call-in total, either number of people, number of hours covered, whatever it happens to be. So it's obviously a scalable. The bigger you get, the more people you need. Some industries will call them floaters, troubleshooters, extra help, whatever. And often that job is also, because these people are in so many different buildings, it's a good area to train a next potential supervisory lead, area supervisor, area manager, maybe an operations manager. Early in my career, that's what happened. I was in a troubleshooter role, grew to an area manager role, then grew from part-time to full-time to a full-time site supervisor. Those jobs are usually given to people that you see value in and you want to grow with them. So with this particular client, their extra help quit.
Well, that happens though.
Yeah, an hour before the shift.
An hour before the shift.
An hour before the shift, which gives you no prep time to try to figure out the chaos. One company I used to work for early in my career, we had this huge board. We had 15 extra people that worked for us. And then there were sometimes that we would go through those 15 people and still need more. And the operations personnel would bargain and trade. Okay, I'll take Jim if you take Sue, or if I can take this person, you have a building that has multiple people, maybe you can have those multiple people. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that hour to hour and a half prior of the shifts. And sometimes an hour and a half after the start of shifts, because then you deal with the no-call, no-shows on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, this extra person called in when they were normally calling in for the start of their shift. Like, where do I need to fill in tonight? And they told the owner, yeah, last night was my last night. So they quit without notice. That just makes it difficult. So here, this poor owner now has to scramble for help because their extra help is now left. Well, on top of that, there was a catastrophe where one of their employees had a life-altering situation and was not going to be able to work that night either. And that person worked 2 different locations. So then it's like, okay, what do you do next? In this case, because they're a smaller company, their area manager had to fill in those jobs.
For both the people and whatever locations they were at.
Yeah, they had to do the work of basically 3 people that night.
Plus their own that. Yeah, gotcha.
Well,
Okay.
no, they pretty much, other than phone calls, were not going to be able to go around and do their job that night.
Gotcha.
You can't be managing and checking on buildings if you're cleaning building. And that's sometimes crisis management.
Mm-hmm.
But that's sometimes the way that it becomes. So then that area manager is talking to maybe their boss or the owner. In this case, they reported to an owner. Okay, well, if I'm covering all this individual over here, we've had some concerns. Do you have time to go over there? So again, kind of wheeling and dealing. Who's going to go?
So your customer, the owner, is dealing with the manager who is now doing 2 to 3 people's jobs. 3 people's jobs.
Well, 2 people's jobs, but 3 locations.
Gotcha. Understands that there's a concern with somebody else at another location just because there have been some training issues or some performance issues. Understandably, at least that person's doing their job, saying, hey, I have a concern.
I have a concern.
And now it's, how does that get juggled?
It is more than just juggling getting people to places, because most customers will give you only 1 key. So now it's trying to get the key into the owner's hand so that the owner can go and check on the location. And while the owner's still trying to do owner type things and pick up the key and go to the account,
And be there on time.
be there on time while the key fob still works. And so
I've got to think something broke in this process.
it does. And then it hurts companies that are trying to grow, even some bigger companies. Because when I worked for that one company where we used to stand in front of those boards and make side deals and all that, I mean, that was a company with about 2,000 employees. And we were constantly, every night, it was like we were on the New York Stock Exchange floor trying to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. That's exactly what it was like for almost a 2.5 hour period, Monday through Friday, every single day of the week.
But that's for a company that's 2,000 employees.
And that was multiple managers.
I have a question for our listeners. If you don't mind, in the comments below, just drop in your name and how many people are in your organization. Because my sense is, Joel, even though this company that you're talking about that you worked for some years ago, 2,000 plus people, the vast majority of companies are nowhere near that. And your customer is,
My customer's around 50.
okay,
That's a sizable cleaning company.
Sure.
But still, because everything multiplies. Most commercial cleaning companies don't hire extra people to just sit around because we are on small margins and everything is based on volume.
so my question to you, because you usually have these, what do they do? If they haven't experienced this, they're going to. What do they do?
The big thing is on your HR department, making sure that they're constantly interviewing people and have a pool of people to pull from and that they overlap into maybe the early evening so they can call people that have passed through and checked all the boxes and try to get them in, or bring people on that are called per diems. There's no guaranteed hours, but maybe they can call in by a certain time and see if there's hours available. Anybody who's per diem would also be a huge opportunity because even in my own organization, Sonia, who works for me, she started out as a per diem and now she is a full-time manager within the company and actually one of the key managers in the entire company. And she started out as a per diem with no guaranteed hours, working a day a week, one day every other week, and now she's, 5 days a week.
But you saw the work and you saw the potential, therefore.
Exactly.
So to our listener, I realize we start with a bit of a joke. We both know that this is no joke. This is the survival of your company and the reliable delivery of your service. If you would like to talk to someone who has counseled owners through that, who has been through it himself and understands that there's life on the other side of this crap fest, we'll go with crap fest, I encourage you to contact Joel. I ask again, drop the number of employees in the comments below. We'd love to see the size of the organizations that you're working for or working with that are yours. Joel, thank you.
You're welcome.